Humans were being crushed and enslaved under the heels of the Tak-Tak menace, paraded around in chains and cages by their alien tormentors, jeered at and pelted with rotten filth. Adam Bennett was forced to witness this humiliation, powerless, as he was hauled through the streets of the Tak-Tak homeworld in a rusted cage. The stench of alien filth and rotting vegetation filled his nose. Blue-skinned Tak-Tak guards shoved and prodded him with plasma rifles, daring him to resist. Adam's head throbbed, blood dripping from his split lip. The Tak-Tak's advanced weaponry and shields were too much. Humanity fought valiantly, but Zephyrus colony fell, defenders brutally slaughtered. He was one of the only survivors, a prize to be mocked and abused for Tak-Tak amusement. Pale Tak-Tak children hurled slimy produce at Adam's cage, shrieking with laughter, huge black eyes shining with cruelty. A massive guard, Xenos, bashed Adam with a rifle stock. Blackness took him. As consciousness faded, memories of Zephyrus's fall flashed through Adam's mind. Human screams and plasma fire, buildings crumbling, the proud United Earth Defense Force in tatters. But Adam and his fellow captives couldn't give up. Word had come from Earth. Secret human super soldiers were on the way. They just had to survive and hold out against the Tak-Tak. Somehow. Adam's head ached as he blinked open his eyes, taking in the dank and shadowy cell. Xenos's rifle stock had put him out cold. As his vision adjusted, he realized 3 other men were sprawled on the stone floor near him, all human. The nearest man, lean with short brown hair, pushed himself up to a sitting position. "You're finally awake. I'm Mike, an engineer from Zephyrus. Those Tak-Tak bastards worked me over good when they caught me." A muscular black man with a shaved head nodded grimly. "I'm Liam, UEDF pilot. Crashed my ship right into one of their damned cruisers. Almost had the fuckers." The last man, older with grey hair, gave a weak smile. "Jack, UEDF medic. Was patching up survivors when their goons grabbed me." Adam grunted, chains clinking as he sat up. Adam Bennett. Tak-Tak were parading me around their fucking streets. Before they could say more, the cell door screeched open. 2 hulking Tak-Tak guards stomped in, followed by a towering alien in elaborate armor, medals glinting on his chest. Cold black eyes swept over the humans. "I am General Zax, commander of the forces that crushed your pathetic colony." His voice was deep, echoing off the dank walls. "You now belong to the Tak-Tak. Forget any hope of rescue." Adam glared back, refusing to be cowed. Zax's eyes narrowed. "Your miserable lives now serve only one purpose: entertainment. You will fight in the gladiator games. If you survive, you may earn your freedom. Lose." Zax smiled cruelly. "And you will beg for death." The general stepped closer, looming over them. "You may choose to fight for our amusement and have a chance at life, or refuse and be executed immediately. Decide now." Adam met the eyes of the other men. He saw the same anger and defiance. Even if it meant dancing to the Tak-Tak's tune, they had to stay alive for a rescue. He looked back at Zax. "We'll fight in your damn games." Zax's eyes glittered. "Take them to the training grounds. They perform tomorrow." Rough hands dragged Adam and the others out of the cell. As he stumbled into the corridor, he saw Xenos leaning against the far wall, mandibles twisted in a vicious smirk. The Tak-Tak guard's plasma rifle jabbed into Adam's back, shoving him forward. Step by step, they were marched deeper into the bowels of the alien complex to be molded into gladiators for Tak-Tak entertainment. But in his heart, a flicker of hope remained. Earth was sending help. He just had to survive until then. The Tak-Tak guards shoved Adam and the other human captives into a sprawling training complex. Towering alien structures loomed overhead, casting long shadows across the sandy ground. They were herded into a large courtyard, ringed by high walls topped with jagged metal spikes. A scarred, muscular Tak-Tak with a missing eye stepped forward, his good eye scanning the humans with cold appraisal. "I am Kaz, your trainer. You fight for our amusement now. I will make you strong, teach you to survive the games. If you want to live, you will listen and learn." Kaz barked orders in harsh tak-tak language. Xenos and other guards hauled out racks of weapons, wicked-looking swords, spears, maces, and strange alien firearms. For hours they drilled, Kaz demonstrating techniques, then watching with a critical eye as the humans clumsily tried to mimic the unfamiliar fighting styles. Exhausted, dripping with sweat, Adam faced off against Xenos in a sparring circle. The hulking guard bared his fangs in a sneer. "Pathetic human. You are slow, weak. You will die quickly in the arena." Xenos lashed out with a clubbing blow, sending Adam reeling. The guard pressed his attack, pummeling Adam with punishing strikes, but as Xenos lunged in close, Adam saw an opening. Desperately, he drove his fist into Xenos's gaping maw with every ounce of strength. Bone crunched. Xenos howled, dark blood spraying from his shattered mandible. Enraged, the guard came at Adam in a frenzied flurry of blows. Adam tried to block, but Xenos was relentless. A hammer fist to the ribs, a knee to the gut, an elbow to the face. Adam crumpled to the dirt, bloody and gasping. Kaz's voice cut through the haze of pain. "Enough!" The trainer shoved Xenos away and hauled Adam to his feet. "You fought well for a human. You have fire in you. But you must master your emotions, channel your anger. Only then will you survive." Day after grueling day, Adam and his fellow captives trained. They sparred against each other and tak-tak guards, drilled with weapons, and ran endless laps around the compound. Injuries were common, leaving them nursing cracked ribs, blackened eyes, and painful welts. But slowly, surely they grew stronger, faster, more lethal. A grim camaraderie formed between the human prisoners. They were bound together by shared suffering, united in their determination to cling to life. Mike, the engineer, turned out to have a knack for picking locks and would often sneak extra rations to the others. Liam, the pilot, had a razor-sharp wit and a seemingly endless supply of crude jokes that helped keep spirits up. Jack, the medic, tended to their wounds as best he could with the scant supplies he was allowed. The day of the first match arrived all too soon. Kaz presented the humans with crude armor and an assortment of weapons. Adam hefted a viciously spiked mace, the metal cold and heavy in his hands. Mike chose a pair of long daggers. Liam armed himself with a barbed spear, while Jack selected a stout shield and a short sword. A roar of bloodthirsty alien voices rose as they strode out into the area. Tak-tak, crowds filled the stands, a seething mass of blue scales and glinting eyes. Adam's heart pounded as he scanned their foe, a pack of snarling, four-armed tak-tak gladiators. This was it. Kill or be killed for the amusement of their captors. Adam raised his mace and charged forward, bellowing a war cry. The battle was joined, and the sands of the area grew slick with mingled human and tak-tak blood. The massive tak-tak gladiator charged at Adam with a brutal roar, swinging his spiked mace in a deadly arc. Adam barely managed to dodge, the wicked spikes whistling past his head. He retaliated with a swift slash of his sword, but the alien warrior parried the blow with contemptuous ease. They clashed again and again, mace and sword ringing out as they traded strikes. The tak-tak had raw strength and reach on his side, but Adam was faster, more agile. He ducked and wove, using his smaller size to his advantage. All around them the melee raged. Mike danced between two opponents, daggers flashing. Liam thrust and stabbed with his spear, keeping a trio of snarling tak-tak at bay. Jack bashed an alien with his shield, then cut it down with a quick sword slash. Adam's foe pressed the attack, mace blows raining down like hammer strikes. Adam's arms ached from the bone-jarring impacts. He was slowly being driven back, forced on the defensive. The tak-tak warrior bared his fangs in a vicious grin, sensing victory. Just then Adam saw it, a tiny gap in the alien's defenses, as he raised his mace for another punishing blow. Seizing the split-second opening, Adam lunged forward in a desperate gambit. His sword plunged into the tak-tak's chest, piercing deep. Black blood spurted as Adam wrenched his blade free. The alien toppled with a gurgling cry, mace falling from lifeless fingers. An ear-splitting roar erupted from the crowds as the tak-tak spectators cheered the vicious kill. Panting, Adam looked around the blood-soaked arena. Mike yanked his daggers from a fallen foe. Liam kicked a twitching corpse off his spear. Jack, bleeding from a gash over his eye, stumbled towards them. Against all odds they had survived. Guards herded them out of the arena and back to the dank cells. A grudging ration of water and a mush that might have been food was shoved through the bars. They collapsed onto the filthy straw, nursing their wounds. The next day they were dragged out to fight again, and the day after that. Each match was more brutal than the last as the Tak-Tak pitted them against more skilled, vicious foes. But each time, Adam and his band emerged victorious, leaving a trail of broken alien bodies in their wake. In the crowds, chants of humans began to ring out. Where once the Tak-Tak guards spat insults and abuse, now there was a flicker of something like respect in their compound eyes as they looked upon the human warriors. After a particularly savage battle against a towering insectoid horror, General Zax himself strode into their cell. The Tak-Tak commander looked down at Adam, eyes glinting. "You have impressed me, human. Tomorrow you will fight Xenos, defeat him, and I will grant you and your cohorts your freedom." Adam met Zax's gaze steadily. He thought of Earth, of the rescue that must surely be coming. They had to survive. This was their chance. The day of Adam's fateful duel dawned. Harsh sunlight glared down on the blood-stained sands as Adam strode into the arena, sword gripped tight. Xenos waited, a brutal battle-axe clutched in his clawed hands, cold eyes locked on Adam. They circled, two predators sizing up their prey. Xenos struck first, a savage axe blow meant to cleave Adam in two. Adam sidestepped, steel hissing through empty air. His sword darted in, probing for weakness, but Xenos' thick armor turned the thrust. Blades clashed in a ringing cacophony. Axe and sword blurred as the two titans traded blows, a whirlwind of flashing steel. The crowd's roar was deafening, alien voices baying for blood. Sweat poured down Adam's face as he parried and dodged. His arms burned, muscles screaming. But Xenos seemed tireless, his assault relentless. The Tak-Tak's axe hammered down like an avalanche, the crushing impacts numbing Adam's hands. A misstep, an instant's lapse in concentration. Xenos' axe scythed in, tearing through Adam's guard. Searing pain erupted as the razor edge bit deep into Adam's forearm. Hot blood gushed, splattering the sand. Gritting his teeth against the white-hot agony, Adam fought on. He was flagging, strength fading. Xenos saw it. Sensing victory, the Tak-Tak redoubled his attack, axe raining down in a storm of killing blows. Razor steel punched through leathery blue flesh, grating against bone. Xenos' eyes bulged in shock. Black blood jetted as Adam wrenched his blade free. The Tak-Tak crumpled, axe clattering from nerveless fingers. Silence fell thick and heavy. Adam stood over his vanquished foe, chest heaving, blood dripping from his sword. Then the stadium exploded, alien voices roaring his name. Zax approached, his medals glinting. "Well fought, human. You and your compatriots have earned your freedom." His tone was grudging, as if the words were bitter ashes on his tongue. As Adam limped from the arena, Mike and Liam and Jack fell in beside him, clapping his shoulders, a fierce pride shining in their eyes. The crowd's chant echoed in his ears. But even as the adulation washed over him, Adam's thoughts turned to the future. They were free, but they were still stranded on an alien world, light years from Earth. What challenges lay ahead? What dangers lurked in the strange, savage frontiers of the Tak-Tak Empire? As they passed through the arena gates, Adam, Mike, Liam and Jack found themselves facing an unexpected group, a motley band of Tak-Tak, some still wearing the tattered remnants of gladiatorial armor. Adam tensed, hand dropping to his sword hilt, but the lead alien, a lithe female with vivid crimson markings, held up a clawed hand in a placating gesture. "Peace, humans, I am Zara, we are not your enemies." Her voice was a raspy hiss, but her black eyes held a fierce intensity. "You fought well in the arena, showed strength, courage, qualities we need." Adam exchanged wary glances with his companions. Need for what? "Rebellion." Zara swept a clawed hand out, indicating her followers. "We fight to overthrow General Zax. Free our people from his cruelty. You could join us." Mike barked a harsh laugh. "Join you? After everything your kind did to us, to our colony?" Adam hesitated, torn. These aliens had enslaved them, forced them to fight for sport, but Zara was offering a chance to strike back, to make a real difference. He met the eyes of his friends, saw the same calculation in their gazes. Liam spoke first. "I'm in, rather fight for something real than die in their damned arena." Jack nodded. "If it means a shot at Zax, count me in." Mike sighed. "Hell, why not? Beats waiting around for the Tuk-Tuk to kill us." Adam turned back to Zara. "All right, we'll join your rebellion." Zara bared her fangs in what might have been a smile. "Good. Come, we must hurry." She set off at a quick pace, leading them through winding alleyways and shadowed tunnels. The rebel base was hidden deep in a remote mountain range, accessible only by a treacherous winding path. Camouflaged sentries challenged them at several points, relaxing only at Zara's hissed countersigns. Inside, the base was a hive of activity. Tuk-Tuk and humans alike hurried to and fro, carrying weapons, supplies, and equipment. Many bore the scars of the arena, grim reminders of their past. Zara led them into a large central chamber, dominated by a holographic display of the planet. Red icons marked Tuk-Tuk military installations, blue showed rebel strikes and safe houses. She tapped a clawed finger on the Zephyrus colony site. Zax's forces are concentrated here, supplied by this network. Red lines spider-webbed out, connecting bases and outposts. We have been raiding their supply lines, freeing prisoners, gathering intel for a major strike. She fixed Adam with a piercing stare. Your victory over Xenos has shaken their confidence, shown they are not invincible. The time to act is now. A scarred Tuk-Tuk with a missing eye, who Zara introduced as her Lieutenant Kaz, led them to an armory. The weapons here were like nothing Adam had seen. Sleek plasma rifles, razor-edged vibroblades, armor of lightweight polymer that shimmered like oil on water. Kaz showed them how to use the unfamiliar gear, putting them through a crash course in the rebels' guerrilla tactics, ambushes, sabotage, lightning raids, and vanishing retreats. As they trained, Adam felt a growing sense of purpose, of rightness. This was what they were meant to do, not die for Tuk-Tuk amusement, but fight for a cause. He met Mike's eyes as they practiced a bounding Overwatch drill, saw the same fire burning there. The hour of the mission briefing arrived all too soon. The rebels gathered in the war room, a tense anticipation filling the air. Zara stood before the holo display, the light casting her features in stark relief. "Our target is this base," she pointed at a glowing red icon. "A major distribution hub. We strike hard, destroy their supplies, and fade away. Kaz will lead a diversionary attack here," she indicated a second icon, "to draw off their forces." She turned to Adam. "You and your team will infiltrate here, planting explosives. Your knowledge of human tech will be invaluable." Adam nodded, adrenaline already starting to flow. This was it, a chance to prove himself, to strike a real blow against the Tuk-Tuk. He checked his plasma rifle, feeling the solid weight of it, the hum of barely leashed power. They filed to the launch bay, boarding sleek grav skimmers. As the hangar doors opened, revealing the night sky strewn with unfamiliar stars, Adam felt a fierce exultation rising in his chest. He was no longer a slave, no longer a pawn. He was a warrior, fighting for the freedom of all. The grav skimmer hummed to life, lifting off and arrowing into the darkness. The secret base fell away behind them as they flew through the night, skimming over ink-black forests and jagged peaks. In the distance, the lights of the Tuk-Tuk base glimmered like baleful eyes. Adam double-checked his gear, running through the plan in his mind. Infiltrate, plant the charges, exfiltrate, simple enough on paper. But he knew all too well how quickly plans could fall apart in the heat of battle. Beside him, Mike muttered a quiet prayer, fingers tight on his rifle stock. Liam stared straight ahead, eyes hard and focused. Jack was methodically checking and rechecking their medkits, preparing for the worst. The grav skimmer slowed, drifting silently towards the ground. They were still a click out from the base, the last stretch to be covered on foot to avoid detection. As they disembarked, Zara caught Adam's eye, nodding grimly. "Good luck," she rasped. "Give them hell." Adam nodded back, then turned to his team. "All right, you know the drill. Keep it tight, watch your sectors. We get in, we get out." They moved out, ghosts in the darkness, the faint starlight glinting off their armor. The jungle closed around them, humid air thick with the chirrups and buzzes of alien insects. Adam took point, scanning the underbrush for any sign of Tak-Tak patrols. They were halfway to the base when a shout rang out, guttural and harsh. A plasma bolt sizzled over Adam's head, splashing against a tree in a shower of sparks and molten bark. More shots followed, the jungle erupting into a cacophony of weapons fire and harsh cries. "Ambush," Mike yelled, diving for cover. Adam cursed, swinging his rifle up. The Tak-Tak had been waiting for them, concealed in the dense foliage. Plasma bolts crisscrossed the air, superheated projectiles searching for flesh. He snap-fired back, the plasma rifle bucking in his grip. A Tak-Tak tumbled from a tree, screeching as it fell. But there were more, far more than there should have been for a routine patrol. "Fall back," Adam roared over the din of battle. "Regroup at the fallback point." They disengaged, laying down a blistering barrage of covering fire as they leapfrogged back. The Tak-Tak pressed hard, dogging their steps with relentless fury. Adam saw Liam stumble, a plasma bolt searing across his shoulder. Jack hauled him up, keeping him moving. They burst into a small clearing, chest heaving, weapons up and searching for targets. The jungle had fallen ominously silent, the Tak-Tak melting away as quickly as they had appeared. "Trap," Liam gasped out, clutching his wounded shoulder. "They knew we were coming." A cold certainty settled in Adam's gut. Zax, he must have known about the rebels, led us into a trap. Mike cursed bitterly. "So what now? The charges aren't set, the diversion never happened, mission's blown." Adam shook his head. "No, we can still do this, we'll just have to improvise." He looked around at his team, battered and bloodied but still unbowed. These were his brothers, forged in the crucible of the arena. They would not fail. "We split up. Mike, Liam, circle around, come at the base from the south. Jack and I will make a frontal approach, draw their attention. Plant your charges, then get the hell out." Liam nodded grimly. "Give 'em hell." They separated, two pairs fading into the jungle. Adam led Jack in a wide arc, angling towards the base's main gate. As they approached, alarms started to blare, searchlights stabbing out into the night. "Then let's not disappoint them." Adam raised his rifle, sighting on the nearest guard tower. "Open fire!" Plasma bolts lanced out, slamming into the tower in a gout of flame. Tak-Tak warriors boiled out of the base like angry insects from a kicked hive, plasma rifles spitting deadly fire. Adam and Jack charged forward, rifles blazing. They wove and dodged, plasma bolts filling the air around them. A shot hit Adam's armor, the ceramic plates shattering but holding. He hardly felt it, lost in the mad rush of battle. They fought like men possessed, like the gladiators they had been. No mercy, no retreat. Tak-Tak fell before them, but always more came, an endless tide of foes. And then, like a miracle, a series of massive explosions ripped through the base. Gouts of fire leapt into the night sky, secondary blasts flinging debris and bodies through the air. Mike and Liam had done it, planted the charges, and brought the base crashing down. Adam let out a wild yell of triumph, echoed by Jack at his side. They redoubled their efforts, blasting a path through the reeling Tak-Tak forces. Smoke and flame filled the air, the jungle reddened by the light of the burning base. At last they broke free, racing into the concealing darkness. Behind them the base was a raging inferno, the night split by the tortured screams of the dying. They ran until the sounds faded, until the jungle swallowed them once more. Mike and Liam found them there, looking ragged but fiercely proud. "Base is gone," Mike reported, grinning savagely. "Saw it go up from a click away." "Zax will be hurting after this," Liam added, his wound a hastily bound slash of red. dealt him a real blow. Adam clasped forearms with them, reveling in their shared victory. But even as joy surged in his heart, a cold thought crept in. Zax had known of their plan, had turned their strike into a trap. Did that mean the rebellion was compromised? Were they all just pawns in some greater game? He shook off the dark musings. They had won today, struck a mighty blow for freedom. Whatever came next, they would face it as they had faced everything else, together, unbowed and unbroken. The jungle enfolded them, 4 humans alone on an alien world, united by blood and the unbreakable bonds of combat. They had the taste of victory now, and they hungered for more. Zax and his Tak-Tak warriors would learn to fear the sting of human resolve. This fight was far from over. They moved like ghosts, slipping past patrols and security cameras with practiced ease. The advanced tech of their armor made them virtually invisible to Tak-Tak sensors. The armory loomed ahead, a squat bunker bristling with defenses. Adam placed a breaching charge on the reinforced door, the explosives adhering to the alien metal with a soft click. He held up 3 fingers, counting down. 3, 2, 1. The charge detonated with a muffled thump, blasting the door inward. Adam and Zara were through the gap in an instant, plasma rifles sweeping for targets. 2 guards spun to face them, hands dropping to weapons. They never stood a chance. Twin bursts of plasma fire cut them down before they could even draw. The rebels poured into the armory, securing the room with ruthless efficiency. Rack upon rack of Tak-Tak weapons greeted them. Plasma rifles, EMP grenades, stun batons, and other exotic arms Adam couldn't even name. "Load up the hover carts," Zara hissed, "quickly." They worked with frantic speed, piling weapons and equipment onto the floating transports. Adam hefted a crate of plasma charges, the dense material straining even his enhanced muscles. Just a few more minutes and they'd be... Alarms shrieked to life, a deafening klaxon that set Adam's teeth on edge. Shouts echoed from beyond the armory, the pounding of booted feet growing louder. "We've been made," Zara snarled. "Defensive positions." Adam dove behind a stack of weapon crates, just as the first Tak-Tak soldiers burst into the room. Plasma bolts filled the air, sizzling past Adam's head and exploding against the crates in showers of molten sparks. He popped up, sighting down his rifle's barrel. The weapon kicked against his shoulder as he fired, plasma rounds stitching a lethal line across the charging Tak-Tak. Aliens screamed and fell, but more surged forward to take their place, a tide of blue scales and glinting armor. Beside him, Zara and the other rebels laid down a blistering barrage, plasma fire crisscrossing the room in a deadly web. But the Tak-Tak kept coming, heedless of their losses. Adam saw movement in his peripheral vision. A squad of Tak-Tak had flanked their position, using the crates as cover to circle around behind them. He snatched a plasma grenade from his belt and hurled it, the glowing sphere arcing through the air. The grenade detonated in a blinding flash, vaporizing the flanking Tak-Tak in a roaring holocaust of white fire. But even as their charred corpses slumped to the floor, more aliens pressed forward, threatening to overwhelm the rebels through sheer numbers. Just as despair began to claw at Adam's heart, a miracle happened. With a roar of engines, a Tak-Tak dropship smashed through the armory's roof, raining debris and pulverized concrete. The ship's plasma cannons opened up, raking the attacking Tak-Tak with sheets of blue fire. The dropship's hatch yawned open, revealing Liam at the controls, his face split by a wild grin. "Someone call for a ride?" The rebels wasted no time, frantically loading their purloined weapons and equipment onto the dropship. Adam and Zara laid down covering fire, plasma rifles blazing until their charge packs ran dry. "That's the last of it," Zara shouted over the din of battle. "Go, go, go!" They sprinted up the dropship's ramp, plasma bolts sizzling past them. Adam felt a searing pain lance through his arm as a shot grazed him, the smell of burnt flesh filling his nostrils. But he pushed through, diving into the safety of the ship's hold. Liam hauled back on the controls, and the dropship leapt forward, smashing through the remnants of the armory's roof and clawing for the sky. Plasma fire from the base's defenses hammered against the ship's shields, alarms blaring in the cockpit. A squadron of tac-tac fighters screamed towards them, plasma cannons spitting blue death. Liam jinked and wove, the dropship shuddering as near misses seared its hull. Behind him, Adam and the rebels clung to handholds, fighting against the G-forces as they struggled to man the ship's gun turrets. The sky lit up with plasma fire, rebel and tac-tac fighters dueling in a dizzying dance of death. One by one the alien ships exploded or spiraled away trailing smoke, unable to match Liam's daring piloting and the rebels' gunnery. At last they were clear, the dropship rocketing away from the base and into the night sky. A ragged cheer went up from the rebels, the sound of hard-won victory. But the real prize was the prototype plasma cannon. The size of a small shuttle, it was a beast of a weapon, all sleek lines and thrumming power. "This could change everything," Zara breathed, running a hand along the cannon's flank. "With this we could crack open the tac-tac's defenses, hit them where they're vulnerable." She turned to Adam, her eyes gleaming with newfound hope. "I need you and your team to mount this on the warship we captured. Take the fight to the tac-tac, hit them hard, show them that the rebellion is far from over." There was still a long road ahead, and Adam knew the battle would be far from easy. The tac-tac would fight like cornered rats to hold on to their power, but with this new weapon and the courage of the rebels, they had a chance. And that was all Adam needed. A chance to fight, to make a difference. A chance to ensure that humanity would never again kneel before alien masters. He turned to his team, to Mike and Liam and Jack, seeing his own determination mirrored in their eyes. They were ready to take the fight to the tac-tac and make them pay for every drop of human blood they had spilled. Adam hefted his plasma rifle, feeling the weight of it in his hands. It was time to go to war. The hum of the warship's engines filled the air, as Adam and the rebel strike team hurtled through space towards the tac-tac stronghold. Anticipation thrummed through the ship, a palpable energy as humans and tac-tac alike checked weapons and armor, preparing for the battle to come. Adam made his way to the plasma cannon's controls, his boots ringing on the metal deck. The prototype weapon thrummed with barely contained power, its sleek lines and glowing conduits a testament to tac-tac engineering. He placed his hands on the controls, feeling the cannon respond to his touch. 2 minutes to target. Liam's voice crackled over the comms from the pilot's seat. "Get ready back there." Adam focused on the targeting display, the stronghold growing larger by the second. Beside him, Zara and her tac-tac rebels manned the other weapons stations, faces grim with determination. Suddenly the ship rocked as plasma fire erupted from the base's defenses. Alarms blared as the shields strained under the onslaught. Adam swung the plasma cannon to bear, its barrel glowing white-hot. He fired, a lance of blinding energy slamming into the base's armor. Explosions blossomed, secondary detonations rippling through the tac-tac fortifications. More cannon fire lanced out, Adam targeting power generators, weapons emplacements, sensor arrays. The stronghold's defenses crumbled under the relentless barrage, fire and debris erupting into the void. "Shields at 20%, Liam yelled, hands flying over the controls as he jinked and wove. "We can't take much more of this." "Bring us in close for the drop," Zara ordered. "All teams prepare to deploy." Adam leapt from the cannon controls, snatching up his plasma rifle and helmet. He joined the other rebels in the drop bay, the ship shuddering around them. 30 seconds, Liam called out. "Opening bay doors, now!" The doors yawned open, revealing the chaos of the battle raging outside. Plasma fire crisscrossed the void, rebel and tac-tac ships dueling in a deadly dance, and below, the stronghold loomed, its hull pitted and scarred from the cannon barrage. "Go, go, go," Zara roared, leaping out into the void. Adam and the others followed, maneuvering packs flaring as they hurtled towards the base. Plasma fire reached out to meet them, tac-tac defenders alerted to their presence. They hit the hull hard, mag boots clanging against the metal. Adam was already moving, plasma rifle spitting blue fire, as he charged towards the nearest airlock. Behind him, the rebels fanned out, engaging the Tak-Tak in a vicious close-quarters battle. The airlock doors blew inward, Adam tossing a breaching charge through the opening. He stormed through the smoke, rifle at the ready, rebels hard on his heels. And then they were inside, the tight corridors of the base ringing with the sounds of battle. Adam led the charge, plasma bolts sizzling past his helmet as he fired on the move. Tak-Tak soldiers fell before their advance, the rebels' superior weapons and training proving decisive. But the defenders fought back hard, making them pay for every meter gained. Adam saw Mike go down, a plasma bolt taking him high in the chest. Liam dragged him to cover, Jack already moving to tend the wound. On they pushed, deeper into the heart of the base. The fighting grew more desperate, more brutal with each passing second. Adam's rifle ran dry, the weapon hissing as it vented heat. He snatched a Tak-Tak plasma pistol from a fallen foe, the alien weapon strange and heavy in his grip. At last they reached the command center, the heavy blast doors looming before them. Adam slapped a breaching charge against the metal, the rebels taking up positions on either side. The charge blew, the doors slamming inward. Adam was through the gap in an instant, pistol up and seeking targets. And there, amongst the banks of computers and holodisplays, stood General Zax. The Tak-Tak commander turned to face them, his eyes glinting with cold rage. "You," he hissed, drawing a wicked-looking plasma sword from his belt. "I should have killed you in the arena." Adam tossed his pistol aside, unsling his own blade. "Your mistake." They charged each other, blades clashing in a spray of sparks. Zax was strong, his blows hammering down like the strikes of a mech. But Adam was faster, more agile, his blade darting in to probe the general's defenses. Around them the battle raged, rebels and Tak-Tak soldiers locked in mortal combat. But Adam barely noticed, his entire focus on the deadly dance he and Zax weaved. Plasma swords flashed and hummed, the air crackling with their power. Zax pressed the attack, his blade a blur as he rained down blows. Adam gave ground, his own sword moving in a desperate defense. An overhand strike, a lunge, a riposte. The general's blade scored a glancing hit, searing across Adam's forearm. He gritted his teeth against the pain, refusing to let it slow him. Adam feinted left, then lunged right, his blade seeking the gap at Zax's throat, but the general was too quick, his own sword flashing up to deflect the blow. They circled, blades held low, breath coming in harsh gasps. Zax's eyes glinted with malice, Adam's with grim determination. The general lunged, a lightning thrust aimed at Adam's heart. Adam twisted aside, blade rising to parry, and in that instant he saw his chance. Seizing Zax's wrist, Adam wrenched the general forward, slamming a knee into his midsection. As Zax doubled over, Adam wrapped an arm around his neck, locking it tight. Zax bucked and thrashed, trying to break free, but Adam held on with grim determination, pouring all his strength into the hold. Around him the sounds of battle faded, as the Tak-Tak soldiers, seeing their leader fall, threw down their weapons in surrender. Zara and the other rebels let out a ragged cheer of triumph. But even as they celebrated, Adam knew the war was far from over. The Tak-Tak were beaten here, but they still controlled vast swaths of space. There would be more battles to come, more blood to be shed. And yet, as he looked around at the rebels, humans and Tak-Tak united in common cause, he felt a flicker of hope. They had struck a mighty blow this day, shown that the Tak-Tak were not invincible. As they secured the command center and began to plan their next move, a sudden hail came over the comms. Adam activated his helmet's display, eyes widening at the message scrolling across the screen. It was from Earth, from UEDF Command. They had received word of the rebels' victory, of the blow struck against the Tak-Tak. Even now, a fleet of human ships was en route, bringing reinforcements and supplies to aid in the fight. Adam felt a grin stretching across his face. They weren't alone anymore. Earth knew of their struggle and was sending help. With the might of the UEDF behind them, they could take this war to the Tak-Tak, free every world that groaned under alien oppression. He looked to Zara, saw the same fierce hope burning in her eyes. They clasped forearms, human and tuk-tuk, rebel and soldier. The road ahead would be long and hard, with many trials yet to come. But Adam knew with a certainty that blazed in his heart that they would triumph. For the freedom of all, they would fight to the bitter end. As he strode from the command center, already planning the next phase of the war, Adam couldn't help but wonder what the future held. An alliance between human and rebel, tuk-tuk, a united front against the tyranny of the old order. Together they would forge a new destiny amongst the stars, one where all species could live free. And Adam would be there, leading the charge, a beacon of hope in the darkness. The war raged on, but with each battle, each hard-fought victory, the rebels grew stronger. And the name of Adam Bene, once a lowly gladiator, now a hero and a leader, was spoken with reverence by all who yearned for liberation. The tuk-tuk had created him, forged him in the crucible of the arena, and now he would be their undoing, the instrument of their destruction. For he was Adam Bene, champion of the rebellion, and he would not rest until every slave was free, every chain broken, no matter the cost, no matter the odds. This was his destiny, his calling, and he would see it through to the end. The news of the incoming UEDF reinforcements electrified the rebel base. Adam and his team wasted no time capitalizing on the surge of hope and momentum. They launched a blistering series of guerrilla strikes, appearing out of nowhere to hammer tuk-tuk targets before vanishing like ghosts. Supply depots erupted into flames, the night sky lit by the orange glow of burning fuel and ammunition. Weapons factories were reduced to rubble, their machinery smashed and production lines shattered. Troop transports were ambushed on lonely roads, the rebels' plasma fire cutting through the vehicle's armor like a scythe through wheat. Adam led each raid with a grim determination, his face set in a mask of concentration as he directed his fighters. They struck with lightning speed and brutal efficiency, leaving a trail of destruction and mayhem in their wake. As word of the rebels' victories spread, tuk-tuk morale began to crumble. More and more of the aliens deserted, fleeing the wrath of Adam and his freedom fighters. Many found their way to the rebel base, offering their services and knowledge to the human resistance. One such defector was Kaztar, a high-ranking tuk-tuk officer with a scarred face and a haunted look in his eyes. He sought out Adam, offering a wealth of intelligence on tuk-tuk operations and plans. The tuk-tuk leadership is planning a massive assault, Kaztar revealed in a clandestine meeting. They mean to crush your rebellion once and for all. A huge fleet is gathering, with thousands of ground troops. They will come soon, and they will come in force. Adam absorbed the news with a grim nod. He knew the rebels could not hope to withstand such an onslaught. Their only hope was to strike first, to cut the head off the snake before it could strike. A plan began to take shape, a desperate gambit that would take them deep into the heart of the enemy's power. The target was the tuk-tuk's primary shipyard, a vast orbital complex where their mighty warships were built and maintained. If they could cripple the shipyard, they could blunt the coming attack, buy precious time for the UEDF reinforcements to arrive. But it would take a small, elite team to penetrate the yard's formidable defenses. Adam handpicked his infiltrators, a mix of his most trusted rebels, and a squad of UEDF special forces that had arrived ahead of the main fleet. They armed themselves with the best weapons and equipment the rebellion could provide, including stolen tuk-tuk stealth suits that would allow them to slip past enemy sensors. The insertion went smoothly, the team ghosting through the yard's outer perimeter unseen. They split into pairs, each with a specific target: reactors, fuel depots, ammunition stores. Charges were planted with cold efficiency, timers set for simultaneous detonation. But as they converged on the extraction point, a silent alarm was tripped. Suddenly the shadows came alive with tuk-tuk warriors, their armor a midnight black that seemed to drink in the light. At their head strode a figure out of nightmare, a tuk-tuk clad in armor of deep crimson. Adam recognized him instantly. Zaktar, Zara's brother, long thought killed in battle. His eyes blazed with a zealot's madness, his face a twisted mask of hate. The Tak-Tak charged, plasma blades flashing. Adam met them head-on, his own blade a blur of silver in his hands. He lost himself in the dance of combat, parrying and thrusting, weaving a web of lethal steel around himself. But Zaktar was a whirlwind of death, cutting down rebels left and right as he bore down on Adam. The two clashed in a shower of sparks, blades ringing against each other in a furious tempo. They traded blows in a deadly blur, moving faster than the eye could follow. Adam felt his strength waning, his muscles burning with fatigue. Zaktar pressed his advantage, hammering at Adam's defenses with relentless fury. In a flash of desperate inspiration, Adam feinted left, then lunged right. His blade slipped past Zaktar's guard, plunging into the Tak-Tak's chest. Zaktar stiffened, his eyes going wide with shock. Adam wrenched his blade free, watching as Zaktar crumpled to the deck. Around him the battle still raged, but the Tak-Tak were falling back, their will to fight broken by the loss of their leader. "Go!" Adam roared to his team. "Back to the ship!" They ran, fighting every step, plasma bolts sizzling past them. They piled into the waiting stealth ship, Adam diving through the hatch, just as a volley of fire scorched the hull. The ship tore free of the shipyard, engines screaming as it clawed for open space. Behind them a series of sun-bright flashes lit the void as the charges detonated, ripping through the shipyard in a chain of devastation. The Tak-Tak fleet reeled, ships shattered and burning, formations thrown into chaos. And in that moment the rebel fleet struck, the UEDF reinforcements at their side. Plasma fire lit the void as the battle raged, the fate of worlds hanging in the balance. The void of space erupted in a maelstrom of plasma fire and shattered metal. Tak-Tak warships burst like rotten fruit, spilling debris and bodies into the cold vacuum. The rebel and UEDF forces pressed their advantage, pounding the alien fleet with a relentless barrage. But victory came at a terrible cost. Rebel ships vanished in blossoms of flame, their crews consumed by the merciless inferno of war. Friends, comrades, brothers and sisters in arms, all swallowed by the hungry void, their sacrifices etched into the very stars they fought to liberate. Adam, bloodied but unbowed, led a desperate charge onto the Tak-Tak flagship. His boarding party carved a path of destruction through the ship's defenses, leaving a trail of broken alien bodies in their wake. At last, they burst onto the bridge, weapons spitting plasma death. There, waiting for them, stood Zortak, the last of the Tak-Tak warlords, a towering figure clad in midnight black armor, his eyes burned with a madness born of corrupted power. "Foolish human," Zortak sneered, his voice a guttural rasp. "You think you have won? You know nothing of the true power that drives the Tak-Tak." Adam leveled his plasma rifle at the warlord's chest. "It's over, Zortak. Your fleet is in ruins, your armies shattered. Surrender, and your life may be spared." Zortak laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Surrender to you, never." The warlord lunged, a crackling energy blade leaping to life in his hand. Adam met him head-on, his own blade humming as it clashed against Zortak's. They danced a deadly waltz across the bridge, blades flashing in a blur of light and sparks. Zortak was strong, driven by a manic fury, but Adam was faster, his reflexes honed by countless battles. He parried and dodged, waiting for his moment. It came in a flicker of overextension, a momentary lapse in the warlord's guard. Adam struck, his blade shearing through armor, flesh and bone. Zortak staggered back, dark blood spurting from the gaping wound in his chest. "You think you've won?" the warlord gasped, sinking to his knees. "But you know nothing. We were a peaceful people once, before it corrupted us, before it twisted our minds and made us into this." Adam stepped closer, his blade poised for the killing blow. "What are you talking about? What corrupted you?" "The artifact," Zortak wheezed, his eyes glazing over. "An ancient power beyond your understanding. It whispered to us, promised us glory and conquest, but it lied. It only brought ruin." The warlord shuddered, his life slipping away. "Destroy it, human. Destroy it, or it will consume you as it consumed us." With a final rattling breath, Zortak slumped to the deck, dead. Adam stood over the fallen warlord, his mind reeling. An alien artifact corrupting an entire species? It seemed impossible, yet the evidence lay before him. He turned to his boarding party, saw the same shock and disbelief etched on their faces. "Search the ship," he ordered, his voice raw. "Find this artifact and destroy it." As his team fanned out, Adam made his way to the ship's command console. With a few taps, he opened a fleet-wide channel. "Attention all TAC forces. This is Adam Benet of the UEDF. Your warlord is dead, your fleet in ruins. Lay down your arms and surrender, and you will be treated fairly. Resist, and you will be destroyed." For a long moment there was silence. Then one by one the remaining TAC ships signaled their surrender. The war was over. They had won. But as Adam looked out at the drifting wreckage of the battlefield, he felt no joy, only a hollow sense of loss. So many lives lost, so much destruction wrought. And for what? The ambitions of a corrupted few, twisted by an ancient evil. He thought of Zara, of Liam, of all the brave souls who had given their lives for this victory. Their sacrifices would not be forgotten, their names forever etched in the annals of history. But now a new task lay before them, rebuilding, healing, forging a new future from the ashes of the old. It would not be easy, but they would not shy away from the challenge. As the TAC flagship drifted through the debris-strewn void, Adam turned his gaze to the stars. Out there, in the vast expanse of the cosmos, new wonders and dangers awaited. Humanity would meet them head-on, not as conquerors, but as explorers, seekers of knowledge and understanding. The galaxy had changed, forever altered by the crucible of war. But one thing remained constant: the indomitable spirit of humanity, the unquenchable thirst for discovery and adventure. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.